Let's get this up and running. Give me 2 seconds, guys. So, welcome to On the Bench LFC, guys. Obviously, in today's video, the main talking topic is going to be what Liverpool need to do now until January in order to be in with a chance of being able to strengthen in January and then kick on for the second half of the season. Because I think this first half of the season, as we can probably tell already, is pretty much void. I want to quickly say that this is like my normal streaming look, if you know what I mean, when I do them in the evenings. And I can't do it on my phone at the moment because it's doing an update. So, yeah, normally my videos look a bit different, which you guys know. So I've had to do it on this one this morning, guys, because I want to get the video out. But how are we all? Hope you're all having a good day. Hope that you've kind of had a couple of days now to chill out a bit about the Tottenham game. I, for one, am still stewing a little bit about it. But, you know, we've got to move on, haven't we? And that's why I want to talk about this one, guys. So, quickly as well, I want to say a massive thank you to all my subscribers on the channel, all you guys that have subscribed recently as well. Welcome aboard. It does mean a lot that you guys want to support the channel, and I love getting all your guys' views as well on Liverpool FC. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button now, guys. Obviously, it's a Liverpool channel. I do daily videos. I'm updating everyone on what's going on in the media every day, and I'm giving my views, and also you get my subscribers' views on all the matters as well, which they're a good bunch of lads, aren't you guys, eh? So, yeah. Wicked, guys. If I get 40 likes on this video, I'll be doing a giveaway on my next video, which it will be an Amazon gift card. And yeah, I don't know how much it will be yet, probably around £20. So yeah, 40 likes, guys, and there will be a giveaway. So definitely hit that thumbs up for me, lads. Shall we start talking about what I want to do with this video? And that's so basically, there's a couple of key talking points that I want to go over. Before January comes here, obviously we can't change much to do with the team. But what we can do is switch up tactics, switch up personnel. Something that we need to do going forwards. There's been a lot of criticism, guys, hasn't there, on Dejan Lovren over the last couple of days since that performance. Obviously, he was substituted off against Spurs, and a lot of people are starting to feel sorry for him because of what's going on in the media and that. Apparently, he's been getting death threats and that, which, guys, I don't wish death threats and stuff upon any players. You know, good morning, Lion. Welcome to the stream, mate. So, yeah, it's one of them things where, I don't know, like, I do feel sorry for him off the pitch, but when it comes to the performances on the pitch, it's just not good enough, is it? Good morning to Maharaner's closet, if that's how I say, you know, mate. Yeah, it's just not good enough. The performances haven't been good enough from Lovren in general. He hasn't had that consistency level since he's been at Liverpool. So I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, like, you're all forgiven, Lovren, you know. That's just not what needs to happen here. What needs to happen is the players need to kick on from their mistakes. They need to stop listening to what the media are saying about it, and they need to just work on what is going wrong. As a whole, the team aren't listening to what Klopp's trying to teach them in tactics-wise and in training, and what we're seeing so far, the performances just aren't good enough. So if you're looking at the defensive side of Liverpool's game at the moment, what needs to change is we definitely need to look at swapping around the personnel, because what's been happening is Liverpool haven't been strong enough defensively. We saw that going into the Spurs game, Klopp's been trying to keep the Gomez, Moreno, Matip, Lovren with Simon Mignolet in goal as our main Premiership backline, but it didn't work. We was completely stripped open against Spurs, and yeah, none of us was happy with it, and I'm pretty sure the players weren't happy. I know Klopp wasn't happy. So where do we go from here, guys? If something's not working, you change it. In life, if something's not working, you change it, right? So for me, I'd say that Gomez needs to start and pair with Joel Matip as centre-back. And until Kleiny comes back, I would put Trent Alexander-Arnold at right-back. He hasn't done terrible at right-back for us. He's a young player. It's a lot of pressure to put on Trent and on Gomez to put them in our start 11 for the Premiership games. But on the other hand, guys, it's good for their growth to get game time. And we haven't really got a choice because Clavan and Lovren just haven't been good enough when they've started for Liverpool. There's been the odd game where they've done all right, but like I say, consistency-wise, it's just not there, guys. So, and I think as well, after the Spurs game and what we're seeing in the media, I think Lovren is going to feel so much stress and pressure at the moment. So he's not really going to be able to concentrate fully on the games for me. A lot of people are saying that Klopp made it worse and tried to put all the blame on Lovren by taking him off. Klopp didn't have that in his head, did he? Let's face it. When he brought Lovren off, he wasn't thinking, oh crap, we're going to get a slaughter in here. Let me take Lovren off and then I can say it was Lovren. Because once Lovren was off, like Klopp said, we did concede more goals in that game, right? And we have seen, even when Lovren hasn't featured for Liverpool, that on a whole, Liverpool do concede goals. It's something that's been going on for a long time now. So the blame hasn't been shifted all on Lovren, but because of Lovren's poor performance, that's why he's getting a lot of criticism in the media. But it's not just Lovren. I think a lot of people are highlighting Lovren. It's not just Lovren that's getting criticism. I think the whole team in general getting criticism. Look at the criticism that Henderson's getting at the moment, especially after that performance against Spurs. He was getting criticised up until that game. Then Joel Matip's come under criticism from this game as well. Simon Mignolet's been criticised from that match as well because he had an absolute shocker. Let's face it, there wasn't one Liverpool player in that game that had a great game, was there? Salah and Chamberlain were probably the best two players on the pitch, but they wasn't fantastic. But as I said, they couldn't do it all on their own. So defensively and across the whole team, I think what we need to see up until January is, I know it's trial and error, but we do need to see a personnel change in the starting 11. Because for me, I think in the Spurs game, it highlighted how much Gini Wijnaldum actually does do for Liverpool. Because obviously he was injured for that game and that's why he didn't start. And we did miss him, guys. Same as we've missed Adam Lallana. Since Adam Lallana's been out injured, we have missed Adam Lallana. So it is a key talking point that when Adam Lallana comes back into the team, we will look stronger. Obviously, Kleiny coming back into the team. That's two personnel changes right there that will strengthen Liverpool, not only attacking-wise with Adam Lallana and midfield strength, but defensive as well. Lallana's work rate does really well going back, so can't wait for him to get back into the team. Kleiny is a solid right back. Whether he's not great going forwards, what Kleiny does give you is a solid right back. He doesn't really let people get beyond him, and there's not really many chances created from Klein's side. So that will be good coming up to January if we can get them two players back in. We're without Sadio Mane as well. So obviously, once he comes back into the fray, that's another player to add to our attacking side of the game. But things do need to change, guys. And this is what I wanted to bring up. And I will go to your comments as well at the end of this video. You know I will, guys. And if you're watching this back on the replay, don't forget, leave a thumbs up anyway. And leave your comments, because I literally go through and I'll read every single comment that I'll get on my videos, guys. You guys will probably know that by now. Yeah, I'll reply. If you've got something you want to add to what I'm saying in this video, make sure to leave it in the comments, guys, because some of your views are absolutely fantastic and I like to use them in my future videos as well. So, yeah, it's always good to leave a comment, guys, if you've got your own views. But if we go back to what I'm talking about with this one, so if you're looking at changing the defensive line, now we talk about the goalkeeper situation. Mignolet had a shocker, right? And I said over the last couple of weeks that Mignolet, Klopp had come out and said that there was a race, wasn't there, between the goalkeepers at the club in pre-season to who was going to be #1 goalkeeper. Mignolet won that. So my view on it was, if Mignolet was better than Karius and Ward in that challenge, then obviously we want our best keeper to feature. But when you see a performance like that, it's hard to say that Mignolet should keep his spot in the team. Then you look at Karius. Karius hasn't really featured too much, but he's playing in the Champions League. And when he has had his chances, he hasn't really impressed too much, but was fantastic in the Bundesliga before he comes to Liverpool. So he's got more to prove at Liverpool. So does he come into the starting 11 kicking on? I want to get your guys' views on that as well. But my main shout, guys, is give Danny Ward a game. You know, give him a couple of games, see how he does. Keep Karius as a Champions League goalkeeper at the moment, so that doesn't affect that. Give Danny Ward some chances, you know. I don't think Danny Ward is going to do any worse than what we saw Simon Mignolet do against Spurs. I really do not think that Ward would have an absolute shocker, you know. Like, if he comes in, I've been impressed with Ward, what I've seen of him. He's had good spells on loan. When he's featured for Liverpool as well, I've been impressed with how he commands the area. He's good at saving. He's good at coming out. He's good when it comes to crosses and stuff. He's good at coming off his line. So why not give Danny Ward a chance? If something's not going right, like I'm saying, then personnel need to change. Obviously, personnel will change when it comes to January and into next summer transfer window. But up until then points, we can't get in new players to the team. So what you need to do is look at who you've got on the bench, who you've got in the youth setup, you know, who we can utilise going forwards. Because if it doesn't work, then you've got to change it. As I say, I'm going to keep saying that throughout this video because it is true, guys. It's something that I really do think that we need to see now. This season, I would say, we've literally, up until January, we've got to scrap it, guys, right? We're not going to see us pushing for top 4 or to win the title or whatever until we get new players into the team. but what we could do is savour this first half of the season by being stronger defensively. Now, something as well that will help us defensively is playing with 2 holding midfielders. I want to know what you guys think on it, but Henderson had a shocker in that game. I always try and defend Henderson and say what he does give you is he gives it his all. But yeah, he was shocking. Everyone was shocking, but he really didn't have a good game in that holding midfield and makes it hard to try and defend his performances because people do generally look at the last game because that's what's fresh in our memories, isn't it, guys? Let's face it. So for me, I think if you're going to play Henderson in that holding midfield role, then why not put Emre Can next to him? Emre Can of recent has been playing in a holding midfield role, and he literally has played good. I think that we've seen a more commanding presence from Can in that holding midfield role. He's been a little bit more disciplined to what he used to be. There's been a lot of talk about Emre Can. The reason he doesn't play holding midfielder is because he's not disciplined enough, which with Henderson, he's more disciplined. He does stay back more, whereas Can is more, he likes to be a box-to-box midfielder and push forwards and stuff. And you see that he has got a creativity side to him. But if you're gonna look at it that Henderson's not doing good enough or Chan's not doing good enough in that holding midfield role, I just see Gavin said, "Does I stop reading my mind, mate?" Oh, yeah. We always think alike, don't we, mate? But yeah, I generally do think that if you're going to look at both of them and say they're not good enough as one player as that holding midfielder, and my personal views is we do need a specialist holding midfielder. I don't think we'll probably get that in January, but maybe in the summer transfer window. So we need to get that, but until then, you need to work with what you've got best. You know what I mean? So if Chan can do half a job and Henderson can do half a job, put them both in there and hopefully the job gets done. We definitely need to try and take some of the emphasis off the defenders because there's been a lot of talk since that game as well where players are coming out. Coutinho's come out and said it's not just a defence. They're getting a lot of stick, but what it is, it's down to the team. It's team errors. Matip's come out and said it's not just Lovren and that. It's silly goals that we're conceding and we need to work on it, which it's good that the players can see that, but then we know that. I don't want the players to keep talking about what they're seeing in the media and coming out in the media and talk about it. Liverpool in the olden days, right, wouldn't have come out in the media and said where they're going wrong. They would have just worked on it. They would have got the job done. They would have sorted it out. So at the moment, it is literally, you've got to, if you're wounded, you've got to patch yourself up and you've got to try and get yourself to a hospital. Do you know what I mean? That's simple. If you're bleeding out, like, it sounds stupid, but if you are, you try and stop the bleed as much as you can. You get yourself to the hospital, and that's what Liverpool got to do. The hospital in this situation is January. And I don't think January will fully be able to sort out our problems, but what it will do is it will give us a chance to get in personnel that can kick us on for the rest of the season. So, yeah, definitely 2 holding midfielders I want to go with. I want to see that happen. That gives us more solidity defensively going into these games. We're not being clinical enough attacking-wise, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But I don't think 2 holding midfielders is going to take away the emphasis of our attack. It's not going to make us worse. But what it will do is help stop us concede as many goals. Because let's face it, guys, the teams that win the league and win trophies are teams that have a solid base. If you don't concede a goal in a game, then it only takes 1 goal to score to win a game, So that's what we need to do. We need to work as a team on a defending side because it's something that Klopp does look at. But also, you need to look at shielding that back line because we're all aware by now that our left and right backs kick on up the pitch. So by having 2 holding midfielders, one of them can roam forwards a little bit, but then you've still got the 2 shielding the back 2 centre-backs, Then talking about having 2 holding midfielders, another point that I want to say as well is we need to try and play with 2 up top again. We saw it towards the end of last season where we needed to get results. Well, something that we need to do now is start to get results. We need to get back to winning ways, and need to start getting the confidence levels back up in the team. So playing with 2 up top, if we went to that towards the end of the season to get into the top 4, then we need to go back to that now. There's been a lot made of Firmino, obviously not being an out-and-out striker. I, for one, did a video where I highlighted that he's not the out-and-out striker that maybe Liverpool need. But what Firmino does give you is creativity. And maybe there's been a few of you that have had really good points where you've said on my channel that Firmino needs to be playing with another striker up top because that would probably be best. Daniel Sturridge, I did a video as well where I think that Daniel Sturridge hasn't been clinical enough being our best clinical striker because of lack of game time. But the thing with Daniel Sturridge is he doesn't get enough game time because of the injury side of his game. So for me, Daniel Sturridge I'm going to go with what you guys are saying. Let's see him play more. We need goals, don't we, guys? So put on Daniel Sturridge, but play him as a 2 up top. If we're crossing it a lot and a team is sitting back, then you've got the option of putting Solanke on as well with Firmino and Daniel Sturridge, because what Solanke will bring you is that strong, taller player and a presence in the box that is capable of converting some of them crosses that we put in. James Milner's good at crossing when he features. There's a shout now for Robertson to start at left back. I'm going to go with that, guys. I really do feel that Moreno's been consistent enough as well to keep Robertson out of the team. But why not give Robertson a chance to come into the team now and see if he can do better than Moreno? You know, I personally do think that he's not going to do worse. But what he does give you is a really good cross into that box. We've seen so far that lad can cross that ball. So if we're looking for creativity in areas that we need to be able to do to score goals against teams that sit back, then you're going to be looking at the flanks and you're going to be looking at the crossing. But if you're playing with 2 up top, then you're going to be relying on the left and the right back to be able to cross it in the box, you know, which we know damn well if Trent plays at right back, he's very good at going forward, so he does give you that outlet on the right. And Robertson's fantastic at going forwards and crossing in as well. So that's something that I want to bring up as well, guys, is that I think Robertson should come into the fray with that personnel change, you know. This main point is in this video is going to be that something needs to happen to change to get us to January, guys. I think you can obviously make sure, you can obviously see where I'm going with this video already. So I don't like the fact that there's been a lot of talk about Klopp's not going to win anything under Liverpool and stuff, because for you guys that think Klopp's out, I get that everyone's got their own opinions and that's fine. You know, I don't say anyone's opinions, but what I will say on it is Klopp, let's face it, the players aren't doing what Klopp is telling them to do in training. Now, if you look at after the Spurs game, Klopp did say, right, that they had worked on in training the key areas that Tottenham like to play in. And he could see that within the first 2 goals that Liverpool wasn't doing what they had worked on in training. The players wasn't doing that. So then if Klopp's put out the tactics and the players don't do what he says, is that Klopp's fault? It's just a question for you guys that are blaming it all on Klopp and that. You've got to look at, everyone needs to take responsibility in a team. And yes, there's some things that I, for one, said that Klopp got the tactics wrong. But then also, for me, if the players aren't doing what Klopp has been working on tactics-wise, then you can't fully say that. But yes, Klopp needs to be part of that. We're not doing well enough, you know. I do admit that. But what I do say is, if a manager puts out tactics for a team to do and they're not doing it, then is that fully the manager's fault? It's not, guys, is it? You know, so it does come down to a lot of the team doing what their managers want as well. So I definitely do feel that moving on, the players need to start listening to what Klopp and the coaching staff are telling them to do as well. Coutinho apparently has come out and said that the players aren't listening to what Klopp's teaching them in training. So that's kind of backing what we're saying there as well. You know, there's been other players come out and say that Klopp's been working on a defensive side of the game and the players aren't doing that in the matches. So it's just a little bit of a defence side of it for Klopp. When people are calling for his head, I do get what you guys are saying, that Klopp is very attacking and we do need to be more defensive to try and help us get to January until we got the right personnel, like I say, to help and play Klopp's way. But on a serious note, just take into consideration that if a manager puts out tactics and the players don't utilise them tactics and don't play that way, you can't fully blame a manager for that, you know. So just something to highlight as well. Looking at the midfield areas as well, guys, like I was saying, I did say before the Spurs game that I wanted Milner to play in the game. But on the other hand, I don't think playing Milner and Henderson in midfield together works. Generally, I haven't seen a good performance from them two when they've been in midfield together. Obviously, the Spurs game wasn't great, was it? They're both good players on their day, and they both have shown their qualities for the team. Milner brings experience. Henderson's got experience for England as well, and he's been the captain of Liverpool and England and that. And whatever your views are on that, he has got experience in playing as a captain and for the team. So I personally don't think Klopp likes to drop him as a captain, you know. But if he has a couple of shocking games, then whether you're captain or not, in my opinion, you should be dropped. But I don't think that going forwards, Milner and Henderson should play in midfield together. Just my views. I did say, guys, didn't I, that it's a similar situation to the Gerrard and Lampard situation where England had 2 world-class midfielders in Lampard and Gerrard, but they never, ever played fantastic when they were both on the same pitch together. It just didn't work. And yeah, it's kind of like Henderson and Milner are like the Poundland version of Gerrard and Lampard. I admit that, you know, but what they are similar. It's a situation where it just doesn't work for me. So I'd like to know your views on that, guys, as well. And remember, guys, 40 thumbs up on this video. I will be doing a giveaway in my next video if we do hit that target. So make sure to leave a thumbs up, guys. What's your views, guys, on everything that I've touched on in this? I definitely feel like getting to January is key, and we need to kind of start again. As horrible as that is, and we shouldn't be in this situation, guys, but because of the last transfer window and up to the last transfer window, we haven't sorted out that defensive side of the game. We haven't sorted out a spine to Liverpool as such yet, which we need. We need a spine back in the team. I do feel that this season is a transitional season when it shouldn't be. No way should it be. Klopp's been here for a couple of seasons. We should be kicking on more than what we are. But what we are seeing is it is a transitional season. Now, hopefully, Liverpool and Klopp and Edwards and whoever it is, FSG, whoever it is that needs to pull their finger out to sign the players that we need, you know, to play under Klopp's tactics, to push us on to the next level, they need to open their eyes to the situation. And to be honest, guys, as horrible as it is, Liverpool kind of need this slump to kick on. Because let's face it, they haven't addressed the situations that they needed to until now. Because we managed to get into top 4 last year with the squad that we've got, and with that defence that we got, they're probably thinking, yeah, it's not the be-all and end-all. Klopp has been saying recently, oh, like the defence gets a lot of criticism, but it's not as bad as that. And people are saying, well, we did get top 4 with this team, so they can't be that bad. But hopefully with this slump that we're getting now and run of form that we're getting now, that is going to open their eyes up, guys. So there's not much positives to take from the situation that we're in, but that could be a positive in the future, is that FSG, Klopp, Edwards, whoever it is that needs to open their eyes to this, now's the time to do it, isn't it, guys? You know, and it is horrible, but we are hanging on until January now, guys, and then get Keita next summer, you know, and getting other players next summer. I don't think January we're going to see a lot of players come in because it doesn't make sense to change too much in the team either midway through a season, but we do need to add, especially in the defensive areas. So I'm going to go to the comment section now, guys. Read out some of your comments, see what you guys have got to say. And then if I miss any of them, I apologise, guys. But obviously, it's hard for me to try and keep up. I'll be here forever if I read every single comment. But be sure, once the video is processing up, be sure to leave your comment anyway. And I will reply, guys. So let me get to it. So we got Lion on the stream, Marani's that I said. Gavin's in. Good morning, you lads. I hope that you're all having a good day so far. Hendo runs forwards like a headless chicken. Reed, mate, from the top. Lion, what do you think about trying 3 defenders with Trent starting as a wing back? It is a good call, mate, because we do need to see a change. But when Liverpool played with 3 at the back, we've been exposed. We haven't done too well with it. I don't think our personnel suit 3 at the back. But something that I would say with that line is, often in a game, Liverpool do tend to have 3 at the back because the left and right backs push right up the pitch, which means the 2 centre-backs split and the holding midfielder sits between the 2 centre-backs, kind of just in front of them, but it does split the 2 centre-backs. So you often do see a high line from Liverpool and it is sitting with 3 players. So that's kind of where I like to see a specialist holding midfielder come into the team, because someone that is defensive-minded more than anything else, which what you get with Henderson is he was an attacking midfielder. He's had to learn that role playing a holding midfielder, and Emre Can does roam sometimes up the pitch. So I would like to see someone that doesn't give a shit about going forwards and that their job is to sit with the 2 centre-backs and shield. So that would be your 3 at the back scenario, if you know what I mean, Lion. It's just something that I've noticed in the past, but it's a good shout, mate. We definitely need change, don't we? Gavin says Klopp won't drop his captain and the player that suits his system best. I think that's the overall say on Henderson, isn't it, Gavin? Like, no matter what people think of Henderson, Klopp sees him as his captain, which he is, and Klopp won't drop his captain. You know, it's simple as that, which I do think if Henderson has a real bad run of games, then he's no different to anyone else. Just because you're captain, you should be dropped if you're playing terrible. But if Hendo comes back and has a good game, you know, I don't know. It's not just Henderson, is it, right? It's a consistency level across the whole team. Consistency is key in any team that wants to do well in football. And if they want to be in the top 4 every year, they want to win the title, if they want to do well in the Champions League, win the Champions League. Consistency is key. And something that Liverpool lack is consistency. And every single player, guys, for anyone that highlights, like me, where I say Lovren's shit and shouldn't play for Liverpool again, it's not just Lovren. Every single player in that team is inconsistent. So that's where that's got to change. And that's partly down to the coaching staff, making them more consistent with tactics and getting their head in the right frame of mind. But also, what it fully comes down on is the players. And the players do need to take criticism if they're playing bad. Like, I don't like it where I see players getting death threats and stuff. But what I do say is, put your fucking chin up, puff your chest out and say, yes, I've been bad. I hold my hands up. I'm going to work on it, guys, I will be better. That's what we need to see. None of this crying and stuff like that. Like, you're in the limelight. You're a professional footballer. Part and parcel is the media speculation and what goes on with how you play. You are going to get slated if you play bad. And if you play really well, you're going to get, like, a massive praise, in the media. So you've got to take it on the chin. If you want to be a professional footballer, you've got to have a strong mindset as well as be able to play football, So Miranda says, is the biggest weakness in his biggest weakness in Klopp's team? I'm guessing that's Henderson, mate. Klopp does not realise it. All Klopp and you see is the passing ability, right? Yeah, you are talking about Henderson. And Klopp's system is all about work rate. And other than Milner, no one else matches Henderson's for work rate. But the moment he loses the ball there, protection. So you guys are having a conversation about Henderson, so I'm going to skip on from that because I can't read them all. The way we can see goals, easy is worth a try. Yeah, like, I get that, man. Like I say, I think playing with two holding midfielders will help us defensively as well going forwards to January. And then come January, if you get in a specialist holding midfielder or they've got another centre-back in, like your Virgil, if it's not Virgil, someone else that is a commanding presence defensively, like, that will help. Then you can go from having two holding midfielders to just one because you've got the protection there already. Stuart Brown, welcome to the stream today, mate. He says, hey, dude. Hey, my friend, how are you this morning? Gavin says, so what about the 68% win rate with Henderson and 38% win rate without Henderson then? See, interesting stats, guys. Everyone's got their own views, and so I like that you guys are having a conversation about this. Any other things here? Joe Dicko, welcome to the stream this morning, buddy. Hope you're having a good day, mate. We need a player that can get back and do the work at the back and also get the ball up the field. Yeah, definitely, mate. Klopp's tactics, the main thing that Klopp's tactics is transitioning from a defence, like the team is working defensively as a unit, and then it's that transitional flip to attack really quick. So we do need players that can do that. And one thing that we have got coming in next year is Naby Keita, which can do that fantastically. So I know that's next year and it's not great enough, but yeah, we need to get some new personnel in, don't we, guys? And they need to work on that as well. Anyone else in the stream that's got a comment here that I can read out before I end this one? Don't forget, guys, 40 likes and I'll be doing a £20 Amazon gift card giveaway in the next video. So if you want a chance of winning that, guys, make sure to like this one and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because that will be in my next video, which you guys know will be tomorrow as always. I do a video every single day, guys. Stuart says, Daz, I've been worried from the start of the season, though. There's something wrong within the club. Yeah, I do agree, mate. There's something not quite right going on there. Whether it's the owners, like there's been a lot of talk about FSG's not good enough owners. Whether it's the coaching staff, the manager, because some people think it's that. Whether it's the players, all round, they've all got to take responsibility for how Liverpool are playing at the moment, and something needs to change. That's the bottom line of it, isn't it, Stuart, mate? But thank you for your comment, mate. Jack Bassett, I think Lallana should be our captain. Not a bad shout there, Jack, mate. He was captain for Southampton, and we've missed him, haven't we? So Lallana's got a captain side in him. We've seen that in the past. So, yeah, good shout there, mate. Clavan needs to go along with Lovren. Oh, you mean he needs to leave the club? I think you mean there, Jack. Mane and Salah are the most consistent players in the team. They have been doing really well. Obviously, Mane's out injured now, but they're great, aren't they? Paul Pugh says, hi, Daz. How are you? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream this morning, Paul. Always happy to have you on board and get your views, mate. Obviously, guys, I'm going to be ending this one here because I've been going for 24 minutes. I've got a day out today because it's an anniversary of someone that we lost in the family. So I'm going to be busy for the rest of the day, so you won't see another video out of me today. But tomorrow, as always, there'll be another video surrounding Liverpool Football Club and any of the news that's coming out and stuff. Like I say, guys, that thumbs up will be muchly appreciated. If we hit the 40, there will be a giveaway. Also, make sure once the video is processed, if you've missed this stream live, get involved in the comment section on the video and let me know your views on what I've spoke about, guys. There's a lot to talk about at the moment with Liverpool Football Club, and there's a lot of negativity surrounding the club. I'd love to know what your views are on where we need to push on until January. You know, let me know what you guys think on it. But as always, guys, I've been on the bench LFC. Thank you all for joining me this morning. I hope you all have a wicked rest of your days, and I'll speak to you later, guys. Take